Driving slide. To adjust a point, operate a point machine with crank handle. Set throwbar connection and hand crank the point machine to normal position for the closed switch and position the locking slides to allow the locking dog to pass through locking slide notches. Adjust the closed switch to just in contact with the stock rail. Then tighten the connections further by 2 mm to 3.5 mm to impart a springing action to the tongue rail. Then hand crank the point machine to the opposite end of the stroke and repeat the setting for the other switch. Case 1. Incorrect settings. If the travel of drive rod is not correct, then either the tongue rail does not close at stock rail or the point machine does not operate due to continuous slipping of switch. At this juncture, adjust the setting of switch rail to normal position by tightening or loosening the nuts of drive rod to ensure correct setting point. Case 2. Correct settings. If the travel of the drive rod is correct, the tongue closes well against the stock rail at the end of operation. Lock slide. Connect lock slide and hand crank point machine to one end of the stroke. Position the locking blades and allow the appropriate locking dog to pass through notches. Hand crank the point machine to the opposite end of the stroke and repeat the settings for the other switch. Adjust detector rod near end and detector rod far end to make the detection notches align in line with detection rollers. Detection contact. Hand crank point machine to close tongue rail at one end of the stroke. Click the items on the menu bar to see the testing with 1.6 mm and 3.25 mm obstructions. Test with 1.6 mm obstruction. Insert 1.6 mm test piece between and operate the point. Detector contacts just make. Test with 3.25 mm obstruction. Insert 3.25 mm test piece between stock rail and switch rail at 150 mm from toe of the switch and operate the point. Adjust the detector connection of the closed switch till the appropriate detector contact breaks. Repeat the same at the other end of the stroke. Tighten all the relevant nuts. Friction clutch. For rotary type point machine, no attempt should be made to adjust friction clutch at site. Friction clutch can only be adjusted in authorized workshop. When difference between normal operating current and operating current under obstruction